one that's going to come up, amendment number 28. This could be coming up in a very short time, could be this afternoon, and I was afraid I wouldn't have a chance to make a couple of comments about it. I'm co-sponsoring this amendment. This is by Senator Paul, and it withholds fundings to Egypt until Egypt's President Morsi declares that he intends to abide by the Camp David peace accords, which has kept the peace between Egypt and Israel for over 30 years. Now, you talk to any of your Israeli friends, and they will tell you that this is really significant. And I appreciate the fact that he recognizes that. In fact, the bill that I introduced back, I actually introduced it earlier, but I reintroduced it in January, on January 25th of this year, 207, S-207, calls for the suspension of the shipment of F-16s and other military equipment and services to Egypt until Morsi agrees to continue to uphold its commitment under the 1979 Camp David peace accords. I think a lot of people don't realize that they have been our friend. And if you ask any of your Israeli friends, they'll tell you they are. It happens that the president is a Muslim Brotherhood president. He's not like we have had in Egypt before. And people think of other countries of having the same kind of system that we have, and they don't. And right now, the military is a military that we trained. There's a Major General El-Keshki, who happens to be here right now. He is a friend of mine. He was trained at Fort Sill in Oklahoma. The majority of the middle grade officers in Egypt have been trained in the United States. You know, they're our friends, and that's what we're getting at here. And so that I have made that qualification when I said we want to reduce the things that we are doing. I was talking about military equipment, F-16s, way back in January, until they make that commitment. And I think that is a very reasonable commitment. So the amendment that will be coming up, amendment number 28, will be by Paul and Inhofe, and it will talk about support for Egypt and go into other areas of support, more over and above military equipment, saying until such time as they agree with what they have agreed with over the last 30 years or so, and they will continue to be our friends, then we want to withhold. This is the only leverage we have. I said this back in January. The only leverage we have in order to encourage them to come with us is to say that we're going to withhold some things, and that's what we're doing. So when that time comes up, I still have my bill S-207, and it's essentially the same as the Paul Inhofe bill, and so it is not necessary to have them both in terms of a vote. But I think on one of them we will have to have a vote, and it should tie in what their behavior has been in the past, what it should be in the future, so that we don't have a Muslim Brotherhood guy running a country and we don't know how our equipment's going to be used. Our F-16s and other equipments, our tanks and others, have been used to defend to participate in the defense of our friends in the Middle East, primarily Israel, and of ourselves. So I'm hoping that we'll get to that and we'll have a chance to have a vote on it. With that, I will yield the floor.